Did you know 90% of UC sufferers suffer from an imbalanced gut microbiome? Yet, how many of us were told this when he first got diagnosed? Why is this never mentioned? Now, this imbalance isn't trivial. Basically, it means lower diversity in your microbes. It means lower butyrate, so it means you've got a weaker lining of your actual gut. And it also means an increase in pro-inflammatory microbes, which can end up causing more flares. The more I researched about a healthy gut, the more it actually pissed me off. Because the standard solution for creating a healthy gut microbiome was to have prebiotics, plant fibers. But the whole reason UC sufferers remove plant fibers is because they'll eat a tiny little bit and it'll make them bleed out their ass for a week. So I felt like I hit a brick wall. Everything I was learning so far kind of contradicted everything that I experienced and learned from doing the carnivore diet. Which led me to a huge question. Was removing prebiotics from my diet a huge mistake if I wanted full healing? Now, I'm going to go into a hypothesis. So I want to go back to years and years and years ago. So when obviously the humans were coming up around the world, so basically a few million years ago, they have got evidence showing that they were predominantly carnivores. So they pretty much only ate meat. Now, when they've obviously done biopsies and whatever else of all these people that they found that they've had a fantastic gut microbiome. So this kind of got me thinking and was wondering, right, so how did these species have a way better gut microbiome than what we would now, and they were predominantly in carnivore, but yet these days they're trying to tell us that we need prebiotics, so obviously in plant fibers to get the good bacteria in our bowels. So for me, I kind of thought back to how they would eat. So if you think about it, they're these big, strong men, they were going out hunting, they'd kill the animal. Now, either before they started cooking, so obviously if they killed the animal would drop on the floor, get all the dirt and everything like that. It's not like nowadays where you think, oh, I've got to clean it off. No, what they do is just pick up that hunk of meat and just start eating it. No matter if there's dirt or whatever on it, they wouldn't give a shit. They wouldn't think, oh, I'm going to wash my hands first. They'd literally chow down on it. Then I also thought to myself is, I wonder if it's a bit like lions do now. So obviously when they kill the zebras or the gazelles or whatever it is, they go straight inside, starting to eat all the rich organs. So if they start eating the stomachs and the intestines of these herbivores that they've killed, that would end up having good bacteria in it, because obviously the animals already started to digest all their plant fibers inside their intestines, so all the probiotics and everything. And if them people, obviously they would have known that they were nutrient dense, they would have eaten the intestines, eaten the stomach and everything like that. So my hypothesis is the fact that before they were carnivore, they literally did eat nose to tail, whereas these days you can't really get nose to tail. You can't get most of the things that you want unless they've bleached it. So I've even researched into trying to get my own intestines now so I can ferment them, so then I can try to see if that helps with my gut microbiome. But you can't find them unless they've been washed and bleached and whatever else, which then they're useless. They're not what you wanted anyway. So obviously, unless you raise your own animals, then you can obviously kill the animal, take the intestines and stomach out, and obviously ferment it. So I honestly think that the reason why they had such a diverse microbiome was because they ate the animal how it should have been eaten. They should have eaten all its intestines, its stomach. They would have had it dropping on the floor in the dirt and then eaten that, which would have given an even better microbes. So obviously you hear people saying the prebiotics feed the good bacteria now. So if you go for carnivore, does that mean you can't feed the good bacteria? In the short answer, yes, it does. So obviously carnivore is an amazing anti-inflammatory diet. So if you're suffering from UC, the first thing I'd recommend is try to get on the cleanest and the best carnivore diet that you can to enable reduce the inflammation. This will also help, obviously, because carnivore indirectly helps the rest of everything. So when you are eating carnivore, it reduces gut irritants. So basically you remove all the foods that irritate, like the plant fibers, the wheats, the grains, the seed oils, all these things that are basically irritating your bowels further, so then you can't basically seal up, get healed. It starves the packaging bacteria, so obviously you're not feeding it these carbs and sugars and everything else, so it kind of starves out quite a lot of the bacteria that's pretty bad, to be fair. That doesn't want to be there. That gets overgrown or whatever else. So you kind of starve it that way, so it indirectly gets rid of bad bacteria. It also supports mucosal healing. So when you're eating loads of like nose to tail, so you get like bones, bone marrow, you get the tendons, you get all the things you possibly can, and put it into one big pot, boil it for a few hours, and then you've got all them nutritious juices, and drinking that down when you're eating your meal. And it's just got its collagen in it, it's got glycine in it, it's got glutamine in it. All these things might not necessarily increase the amount of good bacteria, but they help seal your gut lining. So they'll seal that up. They'll help the mucus production in your bowels. They'll also help like soothing like your whole intestine, because obviously collagen's amazing for other things. It's just an amazing thing to have. And then obviously when you've got all these bones and you've got all the meat, it also gives you the vitamins like vitamin A, vitamin D, gives you things like zinc. All these are great for healing inflammation and trying to reduce obviously the inflammation that's going on in your body. Carnivore can also like promote butyrate, which is basically the thing that helps keep your gut lining strong. You can do that by eating ghee, butter, fermented dairy. All these things will help support your gut lining. Carnivore also creates a stable environment, so obviously you know what you're eating. If you're eating just beef, salt and water for a couple of weeks, you know that's going to be the most like safest environment that you can possibly get. And then this nicely brings me on to the bad bacteria. So, as I said, it indirectly gets rid of some of the pathogens, but there is some that kind of stay around, and there's a couple that are like quite bad. There's 3 in particular that seem to affect your gut lining. So they damage that, they promote inflammation, and they invade your gut cells. So if you get like an overgrowth of these 3 bacteria, they're going to fuck you up big time. So if you can obviously starve them or try to add things in like the Super Gut Yogurt by Dr. Davis, that kind of clears out like overgrowth of bad bacteria, and you're still staying carnivore. I know generally the gut microbiome isn't thought about, but when you've got UC, it's something that you've got to add to your arsenal of like tools to try to get better. You may be thinking, who's most likely to have a messed up gut microbiome? So if you think back throughout your life, how many courses of antibiotics you had? I know before they used to give people antibiotics all the time for the most smallest and trivial things, which were kind of messing up people's gut microbiomes. And then obviously if you've been taking anti-inflammatories like ibuprofen, aspirin, even things that they give you for UC when you first start, so like omeprazole, Pentasa, things like that, they can mess up your gut like microbiome. Now, with that bit of information, does that mean that you need to have prebiotics in your diet? So this is the dilemma that some people have. So obviously when you've got UC, we've removed the plants because they irritate. But if we are going to have that full healing effect, where we have a fantastic gut microbiome, does that mean we need to add the fiber back in? So the way that I try to frame everything is that the carnivore role it's there for the elimination healing process. So when you first have a flare-up or when you want to first start healing, you literally want to use the carnivore elimination diet, because it is going to put everything in the right environment they need for healing. Now, if you want to go into depth about obviously how to heal and getting in remission and feeling fantastic and hopefully getting off medication, I have created a course, the 90-day regenerative UC healing protocol. There's a top link in the description. This goes into everything that you could possibly need. This is honestly the protocol I wish I had 12 years ago. This protocol is from me and my 12 years experience of battling this horrible disease, going through all sorts of different medications and diets and this and other to really focus on trying to get to the root cause healing. It's all in the course in the top link of the description. So I just want to answer the big question: was removing prebiotics a huge mistake for UC healing? Based on everything that I've discussed in this video, I believe no. It was not a mistake to remove the plant fibers. And the reason I'm saying that is because we have such severe gut damage when we have flare-ups and everything else that goes on with UC, that when you start the carnivore diet, you want to be making sure that you're removing all the irritants, you're starving as many of the bad bacteria as you possibly can, and then obviously you have a nutritious, dense food which is healing your gut lining. So all this seems absolutely crucial for when you're first starting to heal. It's all about using carnivore to prepare the soil and the ground for when you plant seeds. So that's when you maybe want to add in prebiotics or add in plant fiber. But I actually strongly think that if you decide to eat intestines and stomachs that have been fermented from an animal, literally straight out, I don't think we'll need to eat plant fibers. And when we actually digest it from the animals, it's already pretty much broken down because it's already broken down in the stomach. So our bowels and stuff don't even need to do it. We'll be just enjoying all of them healthy microbes that are going into our system. So let me know in the comments below, how are you going to address your own health and how you think about this whole prebiotic thing, if you think that maybe we should need it or maybe we shouldn't need it. Subscribe to follow the journey, and don't forget the top link in the description for the 90-day protocol. I'll see you again soon.